Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We're in Boston, Massachusetts. We're meeting with a number of companies in the area with pretty innovative solutions that are worth sharing with you, the viewers. So thanks again. And on our show is Pritesh Gandhi. He's CEO and co-founder of Ambient. Pritesh, welcome.
Thank you, Rich.
So tell me a little bit about your company, please.
So Ambient is focused on building these very simple, elegant in-home displays that provide a proven solution for both utilities and for homeowners to allow them to sort of monitor the real-time status of the grid. So our device, the Energy Orb, shows by a very simple color change the homeowner to understand when it is a good time or when it's a bad time to use electricity. So if the orb is red, it may mean your pricing is high and you may want to defer using electricity. If the orb is green, it's on regular pricing and go ahead and use as you please.
And this can have benefits for businesses as well.
Absolutely. It's been used in businesses all around the country who are using it to monitor not only their cost so that they can more effectively manage the operations within the business, but they also use a device like this to notify the tenants within the building or the tenants within their environment to say, what is it that's going on that may be causing a step down in temperature or a step up in temperature, or why the elevator banks aren't working today, or providing general overall awareness for tenants and occupants of a building.
Now, you've deployed this with some companies, right? Some electric companies around the country.
We have about a dozen utilities who are using these devices right now.
So what are they saying?
So we've seen phenomenal results in residential applications where there are time-of-use pricing programs in effect. And just for the viewers, time of use is essentially a variable price based on when you use electricity. And we've done a study with Baltimore Gas and Electric where these orbs were deployed to several hundred homes in their area, and they saw during peak events, homes that had our devices versus homes that did not showed a 25% reduction in demand, which is a substantial reduction in demand from the utility standpoint. So they win by not having to worry about trying to generate enough supply to meet that peak demand. From the consumer side, because the peak event pricing is, in that particular study, 10x what it was on off-peak, the consumers now save a ton of money because they are no longer paying the higher price. And from an environment standpoint, we all win because we don't have to fire up these old, dirty coal-fired power plants or the inefficient power plants that are in our society, and we don't have to go out and build new power plants, which, as you know, from regulatory standpoints as well as from the cost standpoint, is an incredible societal cost.
Absolutely. So some of the things you can do theoretically are you can unplug your hot water heater, you can not run your dishwasher, you can not run the washing machine, the dryer, right? Those are some of the things you can do during peak time. So let's say we have it's 12 to 2 o'clock and you're having a heat wave and it's 12 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon when it's really hot in the house. Let's say you keep your air conditioning on, but you turn off some of those other things so you don't really use more, or I guess waste money on the electricity that you could use, let's say at nighttime at 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night when it's cheaper.
Absolutely. So discretionary usage of electricity to sort of defer, as you said, turning on the dishwasher or even pumping up your AC by 2 degrees. So instead of having it set at 68, maybe at 70 degrees, or maybe pre-cooling. If you now know in advance of the event, if you know that there's going to be an event being called between 12 and 2, which the Orb can do, give you that sort of day-ahead pricing, you may want to cool your home between the hours of 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then let it coast for the rest of the day. And actually, that's what businesses are doing as well as homeowners are doing as well, by having this sort of very simple, intuitive device that is in your environment, gives you the data at a glance. We find that there's a significantly higher awareness of what this means from my monthly bill and my monthly consumption.
And the way to get a hold of these orbs is to go through the electric companies, right? So you work with the electric companies.
That's correct, yes. We are currently working with several utilities throughout the country. Some on the East Coast where time-of-use pricing is a little bit more prevalent. And we're also now working with folks here on the East Coast here who are using this to roll out their programs and allow their end users to become more informed about these programs.
What technology does it use in terms of communicating with the utility?
Well, that's some of the magic of the Orb right now. It is using a long-range wireless network that receives data automatically. So there is no configuration, there is no USB, there's no CD-ROM that goes along with the packaging. All you have to do is just plug it in, and it receives data within 15 minutes of it being plugged in.
Sounds like the Microsoft Spot network. That's what it reminds me of.
Sure, and it's not too dissimilar. We're actually using a wideband network. It's not FM sub-broadcast as what Spot was using. We're using the Flex paging system. If you recall, there was the 900 megahertz UHF standard, which is still very prevalent and is being used throughout the nation. First responders still use that as their primary means of communication.
Great. What's next for the company?
So we see ourselves being hand in hand with utilities and with our partners in the space as they start rolling out their smart grid initiatives. We feel like we will be the sort of the most efficient communicative approach to allow utilities to engage with their customers, to provide them a device that shows them and provides transparency around the real-time status of the grid. And we are working with utilities and with other partners to start deploying solutions using the smart grid initiatives that they're all working on at this stage. So you'll see from us over the course of the next year devices that talk to the meters. You'll see devices that are also more granular in terms of the amount of data that they show, showing you actual consumption data that is now currently going to be available through the smart grid rollout.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.